Grief was a constant shadow. It followed Evelyn everywhere. Her daughter Clara was gone. A vibrant light, extinguished too soon. The world felt muted, cold. Colours lost their brightness. Sounds became distant murmurs. Evelyn existed in a haze of sorrow. Her heart ached with an unbearable weight, a wound that would not heal. She decided to leave. The city held too many memories. Clara's laughter echoed in every room, her small shoes still by the door. Evelyn needed an escape, or so she thought. She returned to her childhood home, an old house standing alone. It waited, filled with its own silence. Perhaps there she could find peace, or perhaps something else entirely. The house was not welcoming. It was a place of forgotten things. Dust lay thick on old furniture. Portraits of stern ancestors watched her. Their eyes seemed to follow her movements. Secrets lingered in the shadowed corners. Whispers of the past, unspoken tales. Evelyn felt a chill, not from the air. This house remembered too much. It held its breath, waiting. Her isolation was now complete. No friends called, no family visited. She had pushed them all away. Grief was her only companion now, and the unsettling presence of the house. Days bled into nights unnoticed. She wandered the rooms like a ghost. Clara's name, a constant silent prayer, a prayer that hung heavy in the air. The silence was deafening. The old house held many secrets. Generations of her family had lived here and died here. Evelyn explored its forgotten rooms. She found an attic untouched for years. Sunlight struggled through grimy windows, trunks filled with old clothes, letters, and then she found the book. Bound in dark leather, pages brittle, it spoke of things best left unknown. The book described ancient rituals, forbidden practices, ways to call back those who were gone. Evelyn's heart pounded, a dangerous idea, a spark of desperate hope ignited. Clara? Could she see Clara again, hear her laugh, hold her hand? The warnings in the book were stark. Consequences, dangers, but grief was stronger. Grief blinded her to the risks. She prepared for the ritual, gathered the strange items listed. Her hands trembled as she drew the circle. The air grew cold, heavy. Night fell, blanketing the house in darkness. Only a few candles lit the room. Their flames flickered, casting dancing shadows. Evelyn began to chant the words, strange syllables foreign to her tongue, a plea to the unseen world. The ritual ended. Silence returned. Deeper than before, more profound. Evelyn felt a crushing disappointment. It had not worked. Of course not. She was a fool, lost in her pain. But then a faint sound, a whisper, or just the wind. A floorboard creaked upstairs in Clara's old room. Evelyn held her breath, listening. Something had changed. The house felt different. Days later, the signs began. Small things, unsettling things. Clara's favourite toy, a porcelain doll. It moved from its shelf, appeared on the floor, its eyes staring. Faint whispers seemed to drift through rooms. Too soft to understand, almost like a child. Evelyn's heart leapt. Hope, raw and fierce. Could it be? Was Clara here? She wanted to believe. She needed to. Drawings started appearing on the walls, childlike scribbles, stick figures, flowers, just like Clara used to draw. Evelyn would find them in the morning, in the hallway, in the kitchen. She spoke to the air. "Clara, is that you?" The whispers seemed to answer. Closer now. She left out cookies, milk. They would be gone by morning. A fragile joy bloomed in her chest, but doubt began to creep in, a cold tendril of fear. The whispers sometimes sounded wrong. Not quite Clara's sweet voice, harsher. The drawings became strange, unnerving. The smiling figures had too many teeth. The flowers were dark, wilted. A chill permeated the house, constant. Evelyn felt watched. Not by Clara, by something else, pretending. Her mind started to unravel. Sleep offered no escape. Nightmares plagued her. She began to hear another voice, her late husband, Thomas, his voice filled with sorrow. Worry. "Evelyn, what have you done?" it echoed. "This is not our Clara." She clutched her head. Was she going mad? The lines between reality and illusion blurred. The house was a prison of her own making. An old priest visited, Father Michael. He knew her family, knew the house. He had heard whispers in the village. Concern etched his face. He looked around. His eyes saw more than just dust. He felt the oppressive atmosphere, the coldness that clung to the walls. "Evelyn," he said, his voice grave, "what has happened here?" She tried to deny it, but he knew. He saw the drawings, felt the presence. "You meddled with things," he warned. "Things beyond human understanding." His words were like ice, sharp, true. "Grief can open doors, Evelyn, dangerous doors to places of darkness." He told her of ancient evils, entities that feed on sorrow, on desperation. They could mimic loved ones, lure you in. She had invited something terrible. The horrifying truth crashed down. This was not Clara, not her sweet girl. It was a mockery, a cruel imitation. The whispers turned into guttural sounds. The moving toys seemed menacing now. The entity was growing stronger, bolder, fed by her hope, her grief, her love. Her late husband's voice was a desperate plea. "Let her go, Evelyn, let Clara rest." But how could she fight this? Evelyn stood at a precipice. Her grief had become a terrible obsession, a refusal to let go. It opened the way. The horror was not just the entity. It was what she had become, what she had unleashed in her despair. The house was no longer just her childhood home. It was a battleground for her soul. She had to face the darkness, the one in the house and the one within.